time is precious, and they need and depend on a safe, reliable transit service. I want to be crystal clear. We are not blaming or criticizing our customers. We are all adapting to the Confederation line system, and our goal is to help everyone through the process. What we want to share with our customers and what they need to do to use the system safely and properly is what we want to do with them. Now let's talk about the door safety features. There's 4 key safety features incorporated into the design of the doors to ensure our customers are safe. And by safety on the doors, I don't want to minimize that if these functions are not there, you open yourself up to what is called a door drag, which is where someone can get caught in the door, the train takes off, and the consequences are severe. And that has occurred around the world. We do not want that to occur here. So the 4 safety features. The doors have what is called a sensitive edge. This keeps people from being caught in the doors as they close or catching onto loose clothing or backpacks, etc. There's also a sensor at the bottom of the door. If it gets tripped, the door opens and they detect obstacles like feet or bags or items. The doors also have obstruction programming. If the door tries to close 3 times and is unable to, it goes into an open state. All of these features exist to keep our riders safe. To again be crystal clear, safety is paramount. We follow all industry safety and operating standards, laws, and best practices, and we will never compromise on this. And I know nobody is asking us to compromise. The bottom line is that trains cannot move unless all the doors are closed, and therefore we cannot move a train with customers unless it is safe to do so. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, when people pry, push, bang on the doors, lean on them, or if they hold them open, when they are trying to close, one or more of these safety features kick in and hold the doors and they cannot close. Now let's talk about what happened yesterday and today. We immediately conducted an internal review and we used all our tools, including our cameras, our staff on the ground, and so forth. And we know what happened at U Ottawa, Lion, and Parliament. We know what caused the doors to be stuck. Unfortunately, this morning at Lion Station, a customer was running down the stairs for the train while the audio and visual signals and the station announcements were indicating that boarding was finished and the doors were closing. The customer unfortunately pried the doors open, which jammed them into an open position. Shortly after the Lion incident, a customer at Parliament Station put both hands on the doors to hold them open. And as you know, yesterday at U Ottawa, we had someone also put both hands on the doors and push them open. Again, I'm not blaming our customers, but we need to make sure that everyone is using the system safely. As I indicated yesterday, when the door is jammed, we have a tiered response system. First response is that the operator of the train uses all the tools, including the cameras and the operating systems, and they conduct a visual check, and if the door is clear of obstructions, he or she can move the vehicle. If he or she can't close the door, the second response is to try to isolate and lock down the door so that we can keep the train in service. In other words, that one door would be locked down, out of service, but you'd have 13 of the 14 doors operating, and the train can move. Key point there is all doors have to close and go into the locked position where that train cannot physically move. Now, in our review of the procedures, we believe that in some cases, in an effort to resolve an issue, we were not following the proper sequence for troubleshooting, or we were taking steps that caused further challenges. Today, the team reviewed the procedures and our issues, and we have reinforced the sequencing and the protocols to all staff involved. In review of our response procedures, we also discovered that well-intentioned technicians, these are the experts that know how to fix these vehicles, were making additional effort not just to isolate the door, but they were also trying to repair the door. While this is a great intention, it consumes very valuable time. And a minute on a train feels like an hour. We all know that. Our focus needs to be on restoration of service. So, effective immediately, we are eliminating this last step and instructing all technicians and operators to immediately put the train back in service as soon as the door is isolated. And if that is not possible, they are to bypass the doors, which they are capable of doing, and ask passengers on the train to exit and immediately remove the train from service. While this will inconvenience the passengers on that specific train, the impact to the entire system is significantly less, because we will not have to go into diversion mode and hold other trains up and slow things down. But this is not all that we're doing. Passenger loading and unloading of trains is one of the most significant parts of operating a train. Every new railroad goes through this series of experiences of change and working with the whole city. We have hundreds of thousands of new customers learning the system. We are all adapting, and we want to help them through the process. To assist our customers and manage these issues and minimize delays, we are also doing the following. We're going to be adjusting dwell times. That's the amount of time a door is kept open at stations, aligning the timing to passenger volumes and frequency of trains. Now, there is science behind that, because you need to look at the volume of passengers, the location, and so forth. So we're working our way through that. We have heard comments of some stations perhaps don't have enough open door time, so we're looking at that. I know that we are adjusting U-Ottawa, and Parliament is the other one that we're looking at. We've also asked Alstom to review all door issues and assess root causes, identify any issues or measures that can minimize occurrences of door issues. Our goal is to have no door issues, but that is not a reality. And I will never sit before you and say this will not happen again. Again, I know how frustrating it was for our customers. Alstom will also be reviewing all door settings to assess if sensitivity settings are consistent across the fleet, always ensuring safety and operational requirements are adhered to. We're also deploying our great customer representatives to platforms to remind customers to stand clear of the doorways for loading and unloading, not to run for trains, and not to hold doors. We're increasing our customer service messaging, using all channels to remind them of boarding and unboarding tips and suggestions. We're also going to be making station announcements, asking customers not to run for trains as there is frequent service, stand clear of the doors, don't hold the doors, etc. We're also going to be installing markings on the platforms, guiding customers on where to align at the doors to assist with loading and unloading. You may have seen this in Montreal and other places. We believe we can do that on 8 out of the 14 sets of doors. There's a configuration issue in terms of which direction the train's going, but that will assist customers in both boarding and departing the train. And I would like, again, to remind our customers of some key messages that can help all users of our systems. Please use all 14 doors for entering and exiting the train. Don't hold the doors. Heed the warning system, both the audible and the visual. Don't congregate around doors on the train or on the platforms. Please prepare yourself in advance for when you must disembark the train. Please stand to one side of the door when the train arrives to let customers get off the train before you board. And please, don't run for the train, and don't hold on to the doors.